Welcome to the Flora Sage Podcast, a place where we help you create a life you're excited about. So I'm here outside of my chiropractor's office, and I want to share with you today how to get UnBusy so that you can have time during your day to do those things that are truly a priority for you. So the other day I was talking with one of my clients, and she mentioned how she has a busy life. And she sounded exhausted when she shared this with me. And so I want to ask you, do you feel the same? Do you feel exhausted? Do you feel like that you are constantly busy and that you don't have time for the really fun things in life? I want you to pay attention. If that's you, I want you to pay attention to your busy. What are you doing throughout the day? And what would you rather be doing? So I want you to think about, let's just say that you're washing the dishes or you're loading the dishwasher and you're loading like 15 mugs. If your house were full of people and everyone had a beverage, would all 15 mugs be used? If not, get rid of some of the mugs. Everything that you have in your home requires you to manage those things. That's where a lot of busy comes from, is us managing things in our everyday life. Where if we pay attention to the busy and we pay attention to what is filling our days, then we can say, okay, do I want to be doing this? Do I need 20 mugs? Do I need 80 shirts? Do I need 15 towels? And start to reduce the amount of things that you're managing throughout your day. But then also look at your calendar, look at your schedule. What things do you have in your schedule and on your calendar that are no longer fun for you? There's this fabulous quote by Courtney Carver, and she said, "I say no, not because I'm busy, but because I don't want to be busy." So I want you to really think about that. I want to share with you a story real quick about a couple. They were making a holiday dinner, and one of them was making the ham, and they meticulously cut the ends of the ham off. And their partner said, "Babe, why do you cut the ends of your ham off?" And they responded, "I don't know, that's the way that my dad did it, and his ham is amazing." And his partner said, "Well, let's call him and find out, because I'm really curious as to why." And so they're, all right, cool. So they call the dad and said, "Hey Dad, why do you cut the ends of your ham off?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know, that's the way that your grandmother used to do it, and her ham is fabulous and my ham is fabulous, so there you go." So they're like, okay. So they call the grandmother and say, "Hey Grandma, why do you cut the ends of your ham off?" And the grandma says, "Well, so that it'll fit in the pan." And so there was 3 generations of people doing something. One was doing it out of necessity. The other 2 were doing it because they observed it. So when we do anything, when we learn how to do something, we typically learn in one of 3 ways. We learn by direct observation, we learn by direct instruction, or we learn by trial and error. And so I want you to ask yourself, is what you're doing serving you? Do you need to do it? Like, those people didn't need to cut the ends of the ham off. The grandmother did so that it would fit in her pan. But the other 2 generations were doing it simply because they observed it and they assumed that was part of getting a really good holiday ham. Okay? So look at the busy. Look at what you're doing and begin to reduce the busy. When you reduce the busy, you'll start to have time in your life to fit in those things that you truly prioritize. Now, this whole month inside of the 1 Degree Shift Tribe, we're talking about priorities. We're talking about figuring out and observing and noticing what we're doing throughout the day, what we want to do, what we are doing, what are true priorities now in this phase of your life. Like, I'm an empty nester, so my day, my priorities look very different now than when I was a mom. Well, I'm still a mom, but when I was raising my babies. And so when you're in different phases of your life, you will then have different priorities and different things to occupy your time and different things and activities that you want to partake in. And so give yourself permission this week to really look at these things, look at the busy, and start to weed out the busy and start to weave in those priorities, such as getting your neck adjusted at the chiropractor if you need it. If you want my support in this, and if you want to be among our 1 degree shifters inside of the 1 degree shift tribe, what I would encourage you to do is click the link in the description of this video or in the comments, depending on where you're watching this from, and join us and start to get unbusy so that you can start to have a life that is filled with things that are meaningful for you and things that make you so freaking excited to be alive. All right, I love you. I hope this serves you, and I will see you inside the 1 degree shift tribe. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. The links mentioned in today's podcast episode are in the show notes.